My name is Eliza Messenger. I am the Green Corps member for Green Step Cities and Tribal Nations. Thank you so much for attending today to learn about the Gold Leaf Challenge. This program has been in development for a couple years now, and it is a program for community members to take climate action and be recognized for that action. Today, Kristen Moroz from Green Step Cities and Tribal Nations will also be presenting along with Catherine Kemp from the Great Plains Institute. So we're just going to do a brief history of the Gold Leaf program and how we got here. We're going to discuss the pilot program summary and some learnings from that pilot, and then go over the Gold Leaf Challenge and talk about what this challenge is. And then the
go to bed and then get up early and
sorry.
Kind
And then the support and opportunities and resources that we've developed for you. And then finally, we'll end with a question and answer session. So if you have questions, if you want to put them in the chat or hold them to the end, that would be great. All right, I'm going to pass it to Catherine now.
I think Chris is up first.
Yep, it's me.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks, Liza. Hi, everyone. Welcome. We wanted to just provide a little bit of history and background on the process for developing this Gold Leaf Challenge for you. So on the screen, you'll see some overall timelines that kind of get us to where we are today. In 2007, a series of listening sessions were hosted that really indicated communities wanting support and programming that focused on local sustainability. And so the Green Step Cities program launched in 2010, which is managed through a public-private partnership and includes nonprofits like Great Plains Institute, state agencies, and educational institutions. In 2014, we added Green Step Tribal Nations, and then hearing from Green Step participants while we were gathering feedback for our 2020 strategic plan, we heard a strong interest in climate response through more concentrated focus on mitigation, adaptation, resilience, and community education. And so with the help of a Green Corps member, Emily, who served with us a couple of years ago, the Gold Leaf program started development with a group of communities and advisors. Some of you which are on the call today, so hello. And we wanted to identify local priorities and high impact actions for climate efforts, and then developed a pilot program as a part of that. And then we're here today to officially launch the Gold Leaf Challenge. If you want to learn more about the kind of history process, how we got here, there's a whole long development report available to review as well, which I will post in the chat here for you. And we can go to the next slide. Program goals. We think that the Gold Leaf Challenge helps us meet a number of goals. So one of which is that it is open to all types of communities. We want to challenge, it's in the name, assist and recognize efforts around local climate action. And so all of that, plays into the design of what the Gold Leaf Challenge is today. Next slide. And you may be asking, okay, so there's obviously some connection to the Green Step Cities and Tribal Nations program here. So what's the different aspects of this? What is and isn't the Gold Leaf Challenge? Both are voluntary challenge assistance and recognition programs, like I mentioned. The Gold Leaf Challenge uses the Green Step program as a guide for providing resources, and the challenge creates a targeted list of the 181 Green Step Cities and Tribal Nations actions that we have in the Green Step program to create a kind of a climate action roadmap for communities of any type that can focus down even further based on local needs and priorities. And so it's really trying to draw attention to, again, climate action. Goldleaf is focused on taking new actions that address climate change, while GreenStep recognizes past and current actions that are more broadly across sustainability. And we do anticipate that GreenStep participants that are currently in the GreenStep program will have interest in also joining the Goldleaf Challenge, but we are additionally excited to welcome any community type, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. You do not need to be a GreenStep participant to join this challenge. Next slide, and I'll pass it to Catherine.
All right, thanks, Kristen. So to kind of test it out, Goldleaf idea, we ran a pilot program that started in December 2022 and ran through September of last year. And 11 communities participated, so representing a variety of communities of different sizes and geographies from across the state. And all but one were GreenStep cities or communities and at different levels. One was not, and kind of this is speaking to what Kristen just said of being open to wanting to see what it would look like to open this to non-GreenStep communities. So the pilot was structured around these 44 possible actions across 4 different categories. So climate adaptation, climate mitigation, climate preparedness, and community connectedness. And so during that pilot period, there was a goal of accomplishing 2 new actions during that pilot. So we met periodically throughout the course of the pilot to check in with communities, discuss shared topics of interest, check in on progress, etc. Go to the next slide. And so, like I said, there was an initial goal of having each community accomplish 2 new actions over the course of the pilot. And you can see on this chart, variety of numbers of actions was completed and in progress. But we wanted to kind of dig a little bit deeper beyond just the actions reported, because as you can imagine, some of these actions are a little bit more time intensive, and some of them couldn't be accomplished over the course of the short pilot period. So, thinking of putting together a climate plan or putting together a large solar project. So just wanted to say there's a lot of work that was happening behind the scenes if you dig into some of the individual community work plans. So super exciting to see all the progress made through the pilot. And we got to hear some feedback too at the end of it. So if you want to go to the next slide, you can dig into that. So like I said, we chatted with folks who participated in the pilot and also with the advisory committee, and all that feedback resulted in updates to the final form of the Goldleaf Challenge that we're presenting today. So a couple of high-level points of feedback here. Folks felt that it encouraged communities to take additional climate action. For some communities, it served as a helpful starting point and helped to focus priorities for taking action. And in some cases, it kind of gave staff additional justification when they wanted to take additional climate action. We found that it pushed communities to take additional action rather than just focus on reporting past actions. Communities felt that it was helpful to be recognized for taking specifically climate action. However, some communities wanted a bit more of a challenge. And so there are some other ways that we've added to achieve recognition for achieving more ambitious goals. Some communities struggle to pick out which actions to take and kind of how to get started. And so we're addressing this by developing resource guides, providing project examples. And we've heard also that capacity remains an issue for all communities. And so trying to provide as many resources as possible to help folks in their journey, and also providing opportunities for mentorship and peer learning. A lot of interest in that still. So next slide. Just want to take a moment to say congratulations to all the pilot communities on all their progress and accomplishments during the pilot. And we're super grateful to you all for participating in the pilot and helping us work through and improve the program. So Thank you. And we're going to take a couple minutes to hear from a few pilot participants about their experiences. So I'm going to first ask Matthias from Faribault to hop on, and then we'll go over to Sean. Hi, Matthias.
Hi, Catherine. Hi, everyone. So yeah, I can reiterate most of what Catherine said about the perceived benefits of the Gold Leaf pilot program. For us, we are operating with limited staff capacity to implement some of these things, and being able to kind of have a list of high impact actions that had a lot of the research done for us, so we didn't have to try and figure out exactly what was exactly what to do necessarily, and pick projects from a long list. The Green Step list was super helpful. It also, for us, we've been kind of stuck at Green Step level 2 for a while, just with a couple of the requirements to get to level 3 being sort of difficult for us to implement. But it does give an opportunity for a city in that position to still get recognition for the work that they're doing towards sustainability, and that was also, I think, really, really helpful for us. And we made significant progress on a lot of many high impact actions, and some of them were things that we wouldn't have had on our radar otherwise without this program. So being able to kind of narrow that down and say, like, here's a list of things you can work on, and then we could comb through that much more easily was a major benefit for us. So
Great, thank you. Appreciate those words. Sean.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sean Finwall. I'm the environmental planner with the city of Maplewood. And in Maplewood, we have been participating in the Green Steps program since 2010. I think we were one of the early adopters to the program, which started about that year, I believe. So we are a step 5 and have been since 2016. And the Greenleaf program was, I think, a really beneficial kind of next step for us, because how many steps can you achieve? So it's good to see that there's kind of a next level of working on your sustainability initiatives, especially at the climate realm. So the Greenleaf challenges that we worked on last year during the pilot was to start creating our climate mitigation plan. In Maplewood, we had adopted a climate adaptation plan in 2021, and just never had the funding or time to initiate that last step of our climate actions, which would be the climate mitigation and coming up with strategies to reduce our greenhouse gases. So we started that project during the pilot. We did education and outreach, and we created a survey to get feedback on resident and business ideas for different strategies the city could take, what they supported. And one of the very beneficial things of the Greenleaf program was the internship, which was offered. We had an intern, her name was Taylor. She was an undergraduate from the University of Minnesota, and she was wonderful. So she did a lot of the outreach for me at our various events. Well, we would both go, and that's very beneficial because we would have kind of a fun kid activity. We did like these solar beads. So the kids would create this solar bead bracelet, and they're white. And then when they go in the sun, they turn it a color. So that teaches them about renewable energy, solar energy, and so forth. And so while Taylor was busy with the kids, I would be talking with the parents about our climate mitigation plan and trying to get them to download the survey and take the survey. So that was really beneficial. Taylor also attended many of our Green Team meetings because she was local here in the Twin Cities, and also our Environmental Commission meetings. So I think it was a good experience for her as well. The other project that we started was reviewing our green building code, which Maplewood has adopted a code to require additional energy efficiency improvements and so forth for buildings that are funded by the city of Maplewood only. And we feel that our current code needs some updating. So we really want to make some improvements on that. So I started working with our environmental commission last year to dig into that ordinance. And I should say that both of these items are still ongoing, but through the program, the Greenleaf program, you know, we were really able to, I think, kind of kickstart it, because I've always found that the Green Step City and now the Greenleaf program really helps staff, number one, because, you know, there's a guide and there's experts behind this guide saying, you know, here's where you can really take some action. And then you get that support and buy-in then from management and you know, your city council, because you know you're in this program that's backed by the MPCA and other experts. So all in all, it was a great project for the city of Maplewood, and we appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks so much, Sean, and thanks, Matthias, again. Thank you both for participating in the pilot, and to other folks on the call too who participated. We appreciate you. And with that, I think I'm handing it back to Eliza.
All right, thank you. So now we're gonna go over what the Gold Leaf challenge is. The first update is that this program is open to many community types. So we have a suggested or potential list here. And you do not, as Kristen said, you do not need to be a Green Step community to participate. Many of these community types have similar challenges for climate action. And so we wanted to break down some of those kind of siloed actions and allow people to work together towards a common framework. And you know, a lot of these, for example, like neighborhood associations, things like that, they don't actually have a guide for climate action, things like that. So we're hoping that the Gold Leaf can serve as a common framework for different organizations to work together. There is no formal requirement to join. This is again in the spirit of lowering barriers to participation. And there's 44 possible Gold Leaf actions. You only get a recognition for future actions that are accomplished, so not recognizing past actions. And the first action that that communities will start with is a green team. This is a common kind of best practice among other similar programs. And many communities around Minnesota already have green teams. The reason for this is because climate action is an interdisciplinary issue. You need, you know, operations and finance working together along with your, you know, sustainability person. So this just helps to get everyone on the same page to drive climate action. It also means if you're kind of climate action champion or there's leaves or there's staff turnover, that climate action can continue. This is also a really flexible idea. So this could be two people internally working together, or it could be a structured community environmental commission, really whatever works for your community. Each action has a resource guide that defines how to accomplish the action and provides resources to accomplish it. So we'll just take a look at what that looks like. So this is just a screenshot of a portion of a guide, but you can get the idea of what this will look like. And these are all live on the website. So these are all, you can see them up now, but the action guides define the goals and how to accomplish them. It also talks about what are the related actions. So, you know, there's Green Step, there's Gold Leaf, there's the Minnesota Climate Action Framework, there's Lead for Cities, right? How do we kind of tie these actions together, and what other similar programs can you look to for inspiration or resources that are relevant? We also talk about potential outcomes. So all of these are high impact climate actions, but not everybody is on board with promoting an action just because it's a climate action, or you may need more reasons for action. So for example, what are the potential financial benefits? What are the benefits to your community? What can your community expect if you accomplish this action? And so we provide a list of kind of potential avenues to motivate action and an adoption of these items. We also have some estimated projected implementation details to think about, and resources and technical assistance to help you accomplish these things, and examples from both Minnesota and around the country. And then we have some guidance on reporting and how to report these and metrics to the metrics that you'll need to report and look at to accomplish these actions. We've also developed some work plans. So work plans came out of the pilot. Communities were looking for a place to share their progress and track their progress. And they're 100% voluntary to use. We're hoping that this serves as kind of a hub for you when you're using a one-stop shop for your tracking your gold leaf actions. And they also have a shared community work plan function. So when you are filling out your work plan for yourself, there's one section that will auto-populate onto a shared spreadsheet. And so you're able to see what other communities in Gold Leaf are working on. And so we have a screenshot here of what this potentially looks like. But you can see we have the community name, population, community type, and region. So you'll be able to search by region or community type or community size to see what other communities are doing. This will hopefully help to serve as inspiration and example of what other communities are doing to accomplish these actions. And there's also kind of a climate action matchmaking service or function to this. You can see what other communities are doing, and if they are looking for example, if they want to collaborate on a project, if they're interested in a future project, if they are in progress on the project or it's complete. So one of the things we heard a lot from pilot communities is that they wanted more opportunities for collaboration, for partnership, and for communication. And so hopefully this spreadsheet can function as kind of a stand-in or function for that. All right, so I think Kristen is going to talk about program goals.
Yeah, so we've mentioned this a little bit now. So the Gold Leaf Challenge is split up into kind of two different paths for receiving recognition. And the first are your Leaf Award. And these are for accomplishing any one or more of the 44 actions that we've identified as Gold Leaf actions. And so there are different criteria for each of those actions in terms of how often you can report on that action or how to do so. The other one, I think we mentioned that there was some feedback from the pilot that we could be more challenging in the Gold Leaf Challenge. And so we wanted to add another layer of that, and that we're calling the Gold Leaf Awards. And this is for communities who have identified and set their own climate goals and have achieved those. And so we know that communities are thinking about how to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, or thinking about how they're engaging community members, et cetera. And so there's goals that are set oftentimes, both through governmental efforts, but also other, boards or commissions or committees that are supporting communities. And so we want to help recognize those goals and certainly recognize the achievements made when those goals have been accomplished and met. And then the other layer to that too, we know that not every community may have publicly identified goals set. And so we connected all of the Gold Leaf actions to the Minnesota's Climate Action Framework. This is the statewide framework that has identified some paths forward and goals for addressing climate across the state. And so we wanted to connect to those statewide goals and also use those as an opportunity for you to consider when identifying and taking actions. And so we can go to the next slide. Reporting. So we will be using a year-long reporting period based off of the calendar year, so January through December. And then recognition will be kind of following that into that next year. For reporting actions, each of the action guides for each of those 44 Gold Leaf actions will explain how to meet that action and how to report it to us. We don't ask for much, just enough evidence and information to indicate that you've accomplished it. So it could be a narrative, paragraph or two or longer. It could be data, for example, from V3 benchmarking information, or maybe you are tracking greenhouse gas emissions, or something that helps support that. So again, we have all of those kind of metrics and tools outlined in the guidance. And then for the goals side, either your own goals or meeting those state goals, you'll be awarded that special Gold Leaf. And once you have enough data and information to share, you can report goals just like you would actions. And so there's nothing really different to do. And again, it's just providing enough information and details to indicate that you have reached that goal. How to report. So we have this split up in two ways. We know we do have some Green Step communities that are likely to join this challenge. And so to keep things simple for Green Step cities and tribal nations participants, you'll utilize the existing Green Step website to log in and report actions and goals underneath a Green Step best practice action. And we can help you identify where it best fits. You get to double dip. So you'll get recognition in both Green Step and Gold Leaf program, and hope that this is a seamless way for you to add participation in this challenge. For any communities participating that are not Green Step participants, we have a Google form to report, and so pretty straightforward. Just select the action that you're reporting on and space to provide some detail or information to us, and we will follow up with you after receiving that. And next slide. What does recognition look like? We all like a prize, right? So participants will receive a plaque when they join the program after submitting their first action or goal that has been completed. And then you'll receive leaves. So some wooden leaves that will indicate each action that has been accomplished. And we'll inscribe the action on that leaf along with the year. And then for the goals, you'll get a gold colored, not real gold. I'm sorry, our budget doesn't allow that, but a gold colored leaf that will indicate those individual or state goals having been met. We recognize this is a really big accomplishment, and so we want to help highlight that. We are still working on the final design and prototype, but it may look something like you see on the slide here. Next slide.
Alrighty. So we've shared some of these. Sean and Matthias mentioned some of these, but just to reiterate, some of the benefits that we feel are part of participating in Gold Leaf. I feel like it provides a helpful pathway for communities who want to take continuous climate action and track progress on completing these sometimes multi-year ambitious climate-related projects. As folks have said, we feel like it can save staff time and helping research proven and cost-effective actions for cutting energy use, decreasing carbon footprint, accomplishing other climate goals. Gold Leaf is a way to, publicly recognize the good work being done by Minnesota communities on tackling climate change and helps communicate that progress. Provides more opportunities for peer learning and partnership and collaboration. And as we all know, climate action provides a lot of co-benefits, social, economic, health benefits, and this is a way to help deliver some of those co-benefits to your community. Gold Leaf is really this homegrown program tailored by and for Minnesota communities, and it provides flexibility in how you want to implement some of these proven best practices. And finally, if your community doesn't have a climate action plan yet, we feel like this can serve as a helpful starting point. You've got this ready-made prioritized list and resources to help you take action and create that plan for your community. Next slide. So we've got lots of resources for you, and some of the guidance documents are still in the works, but this is a really good place to start. We've got the Gold Leaf Challenge Welcome Guide that has specific details on how the program works, how the challenge works. Next bullet point, we have all 44 high impact actions and resource guides for each of them. You've got a document that outlines the reporting options that Kristen just walked through. You've got work plans and community project spreadsheets. And this work plan, again, is to help identify and prioritize and track the Gold Leaf actions that your community is taking. And that community project spreadsheet helps you see what other communities are working on and helps you find opportunities to connect. We've got a list of funding, other technical assistance resources on the site. There are weekly virtual open office hours that Kristen is doing. And then coming soon, there will be some opportunities for to get some summer interns through the program at University of Minnesota. So stay tuned for that and take a look at some of these resources. Next slide. All right, so what you've all been waiting for, how do you join this fantastic new challenge? So take a look at that welcome guide. We know this is a lot of information today, so take a look at that. Reach out if you've got questions to Kristen and Eliza. And there's a form that you can fill out if you're interested in joining the challenge. You do not need to pass a formal resolution to join Gold Leaf, but if you want to, or if your council needs to, we do have a sample resolution available. And I think with that, we're going to move into questions. So what questions do you all have? Feel free to pop them in the chat or raise your hands and we'll get going. I see a hand, but
Hi,
why can't
Joni.
they see it? Oh, here you go.
Go ahead, Joni.
Mike. Yeah, one question I had, it occurred to me, it's just new actions. Is it new actions initiated since you signed up for Gold Leaf, or is it new actions as of the launch of Gold Leaf? In other words, is it really important to sign up for Gold Leaf ASAP so that anything you initiate counts as a new action?
That's a good question. I think we'll be flexible as we're going through the program. But yes, the idea and the intent is about taking new actions, trying to really move things forward. And we all love a success story, but we want to be challenging you towards those new things. So in some cases, especially, you know, if you're joining the challenge, you might already be involved in a project or planning or something that's going to meet one of these actions. And we would certainly accept those for sure. And we're here to help kind of walk through that and think about different guidance. So thank you. Hi, Griffin.
Hello. I think I saw a question in the chat about this too, but about like completing actions in a certain order, maybe. I also wonder, you know, I haven't looked at all the actions, but I'm assuming there's probably going to be a few that we've already done, whether it was this year or in years past. I guess I'm just wondering, like, if we have a climate action plan from 2018 and a climate action plan from 2023, are we not going to be able to count a climate action plan until we update it again in 5 years? I mean, yeah, if that's the case, I accept it, but I did put a lot of work into it, so I'd like it to be able to apply it. But I understand otherwise. Thanks.
Thanks, Griffin. Okay, so first question, and I saw Jennifer's question in the chat too. Do you need to complete challenges in a particular order? No, except that we do ask that first action that you focus in on is having that green team. Again, this can be this could be 2 people. We're really flexible in what a green team means, but really kind of having that coordination in place. And then you are free and welcome and encouraged to take any and as many actions as you are interested and able to do. So that is all open to you. For your second question, yes. So all of so that's a great example. Having a climate action plan, that is one of the 44 actions. In there, we talk about having a new plan and or significantly updating a plan. So in your example, the 2023 one would probably be not something that we would recognize for this, but if you were to do an update in the coming years, we would definitely want to recognize that. Because again, we're really trying to push push actions towards now and in the future. And so really wanting to try to give you that incentive or encouragement to continue thinking about planning updates and implementing those actions. All right, Rebecca, I'm going to read your question out here. And Liza, maybe you can help me answer this one too. Or Catherine, do you also have a process by which additional actions are added to your base list so that we are all able to innovate? The challenge team could potentially engage to help flesh out another opportunity.
I'm assuming this means adding additional actions to that list of 44. I don't think we've talked about process for adding additional ones unless you two have, but I love the idea, and I feel like we can remain open to that, adding new challenge or actions in the future. So that's what I'll say, to be determined, but thanks for raising it.
I also think because this program is open to so many new community types, the way we define the goal and the way that we're reporting metrics and things like this will definitely be a conversation about what that looks for different community types. And so I think there is just that flexibility built into the program as we see community needs.
Yeah, and I would just add that through the Green Step Cities and Tribal Nations program, we are very familiar with a continuous improvement and making changes as we learn about new resources, new innovations. And we also are a challenge program, both the Gold Leaf and Green Step program. So we want to make sure that things are challenging. And if we, start identifying that actions are happening and they're kind of the norm, there might be opportunity there to find something that, again, will challenge communities to think about. So yes, I think we're open to that. Hi, Keith. You're on mute.
Yes, I have a question related to Griffin and Joni's question. We have a work plan for this year, and I'm assuming that the climate actions that we've identified in that plan could go into the Greenleaf Challenge plan.
Yes, absolutely. I think Matthias just kind of mentioned that in the chat as well. Yes, so absolutely, any implementations or recommendations that you have from current plans in place can absolutely be part of the Gold Leaf challenge. And yeah, we can help. We're happy to have conversations and discussions and kind of help map that out for you, or support that in any way.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? I wish we all had like poppers because I want this to feel celebratory. We're really excited. This again has been years in the making, and we hope that it will be something that is useful to each of you. And please, I think this is something we probably haven't said, but we are always interested in feedback. Either if you're participating or not in the challenge, let us know what we can do to help support your own goals and actions. So any other questions or thoughts? Okay. We will be sharing the slides and this recording on the Gold Leaf website, so you can access that or share it with anyone else. And I will also I'll put our GreenStep email address in here. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to us directly too. And again, we have no timeline. We talked about maybe we'll add an extra challenge of getting folks signed up in the challenge, but take this back, think it over, let us know if you're interested in participating, and we look forward to working with you and supporting your climate action. So thank you all for joining.